Good evening, staff and leadership. As you may know, I'm Tech Sergeant Tim Mulvihill, boom operator here at the 171st Air Refueling Wing. And today I come to you in regards to an issue that the current ops we are having in current operations with our scheduling members for specific training events, whether it's flying or ground training that is required um, to fight the mission and fly in the mission. So there's two major reasons why this issue is coming up for us. And the first reason is lack of accountability. For a while, we have just been able to skate by doing the min run with our traditional members, and our full-time members have been able to pick up the slack of the daily flying schedule and daily training events that need to be accomplished, while our traditional members just come out on a drill weekend and get all their training events done and fly here and there and fly two times a month. Well, as you know, and as I know, that is no longer the case. Here at the 171st, we are a very active and very um, busy unit when it comes to the operational side and the operational mission for the United States Air Force, the United States of America. So that lack of accountability, it brings up major causes, and the first cause is members expiring on currency events. Um, when these members do expire, it brings a whole nother shop. It brings in the office of training that has to now send an instructor boom operator to fly, or instructor pilot to fly with that member and get them recurrent and get them back in the fight. So it's just a wasting of assets and wasting time, to be honest. Anytime you have to fly with two booms or three pilots, four pilots, it just takes another pilot away from what they can be doing training wise to better their career and to better their position in the organization. So another reason why I find this an issue is it's a lack of communication, and this is probably the biggest issue that we have, and the most problematic, I could say. With a lack of communication, it just shows a lack of hunger, and a not, and it just shows the lack of energy that we have in the operations group. Guys that aren't willing to walk down the hallway to talk to the scheduling office, or the scheduling office not willing to send an email to a member to find out what they're doing, and vice versa, a member not sending an email to a scheduling office saying, hey, I can work this day, I need to get this training, staying on top of those currency items. So it just becomes a severe lack of communication, and that lack of communication just it continues and continues and continues, and until we reach a breaking point where we're not being as effective as we can for the United States Air Force and for the United States military, and staying in the fight. So the causes of this lack of accountability and lack of communication, it causes missed flights. Primarily, a daily flight sortie might in the past not have been covered because a member didn't know they were on the schedule, and they scheduled a personal event outside of the workplace and the organization that they couldn't cancel. So instead of calling a scheduler and saying, hey, I can't make this flight, that's again comes back to that communication and the lack thereof. So I'm trying to develop a process that eliminates that communication error. Also, wasted time. As I said, anytime a member becomes non-current, they have to fly with an instructor to get recurrent, just to show that they are still able to complete the mission as required by the United States Air Force and by the 171st Air Refueling Wing. So that is a waste of time, assets, resources. And also, if a member doesn't show up to a flight, our scheduling office has to find somebody day of to fill that, running around the halls looking for another boom operator, and it's it's just a big waste of time that can be alleviated with these 4 steps that I have in these 4 products that I've produced. Also, it paints a bad image for the Pennsylvania Air National Guard and the 171st Air Refueling Wing. Units that scheduled to fly with us and to receive with us, they need their own currency events, and they're part-time units too, in some cases, and when those guys get airborne and they find out that we can't fly because we don't have a pilot or a boom operator, it paints a really bad image for us, and we don't need that here at the 171st. We need to be the tip of the spear, and we are for the most part, but there are these instances and these cases where we do fail and we do have mistakes, and we have to cancel a flight because of manning. So in the long run of the things, I made four products here. I have the availability, which is just a request that will be sent by the schedulers to the members of the unit, and they will fill out these availabilities with codes. For example, a B meaning they're available for any duty, and X meaning they are not available, and XN means they are not available to fly night, but they can fly day, or an FD, they can fly day, but they can't fly night. So that will be sent out. For example, it's December. So about the second week of November, we sent out these products, and they were due back in the scheduling office by November 20th, 21st. So once it's back, our scheduling office will then build a monthly schedule based on that availability, and then send that monthly out. That will come out about a week before the month. So, a week before December 1, the scheduling office will send out the monthly. It'll show a pretty firm but soft, it can be adjusted timeline that can be expected for our members. If nothing happens, then the week before, any week, a Friday practically, we'll send out a weekly schedule. And that weekly schedule is pretty firm. We expect you to have looked over your monthly and your availability to figure out where a hole lies and to fill that hole. And then the last step is a daily schedule, which would just be an email sent out to everybody in the operations group saying sortie specific for the next day. And this is firm. If you need to get off this flight, you should have a very, very good reason, because to be honest, it's too late to fill that, and we're not going to go back into that process of wasting time. So what does this solve? This personally will solve a scheduling missteps. It's basic, just to get rid of that scheduling error and make us look good. Also, productivity would increase because we're not wasting time again finding people to fill these sorties. So I hope I've given you some food for thought. Stay tuned. So far, so good. It's working pretty well. So thank you.